Good morning, class 7 students. Students, we are doing chapter number 6 Town Traders and Craft Persons, and our topic is a network of small towns. Students, in the previous parts, we have read about how there was a different town for villager, for the temples, for the administrative of the center, there was another town. So, students, now the network of the small towns, how they're interconnected. From the 8th century to onboard the subcontinent was dotted in the several small towns. The students, the subcontinent from the century was dotted means the divided into the several small towns. These probably emerged as a large villages, and they considered they were as a large villages. They usually had the mandis, the later time in which nearly villagers brought their product produced to sell. They are the mandis students, and in these mandis there was a market streets called the hearts linked with shops. Beside these were the streets of different kinds of artisans such as potters, sea pressures, oil pressures, presses, sugar makers, toddy makers, smiths, stone mansions, etc. While some traders live in the towns, other travels from the town to town. Many came from far and near of these towns to buy the local articles to sell their products in the distant places like horses, salt, camphor, saffron, betel nuts, and spices like pepper. Students, here the small towns they are having the mandis, and they are there were the hearts also where the village people used to come and sell their products, and there were the pressures. There are the different kinds of artisans also, like the potters, stone mansions, and the local artists also. Students like the horse, cattle, salt, camphor, saffron was they all used to come in the mandi, and they used to sell their products. Usually, the Samanthas, a later known time, a Zamidar built their first fortified places to near these towns, and they levied taxes on the traders. And after that, students, the Zamidar started collecting the taxes. The trade sometimes donated the right to collect these taxes to the local temples also. Sometimes the local temples also has a right to collect the taxes, which has been built by themselves by the rich merchants, and the temples which were made built by the rich merchants, and these rights were recorded in the inscriptions that have survived to this day. And these all these inscriptions these are written in the taxes that are collected recorded in the inscription that have survived today means they are today also there are these yes these this is the example of the inscriptions. Clear now? Traders big and small. Students, there were the traders, as now also we have a traders like a big trader or a small trader, big businessman or small businessman. That time also we are having the many, there are many kinds of traders. This includes the banjaras, several traders, especially forest trade. Horse traders form associations for the headmen who negotiate on their behalf with the various warriors who bought horses. Students, they have given examples. Several traders of the horse traders they used to form in associations, and there was a headman who used to do the bargaining part on the negotiation part on the behalf of their warriors who are interested in buying the horses. Since traders had to pass through the many kinds kingdoms and forests, since students mean the traders has to pass through many kingdoms, forests, and they usually travels on the canvas, form guild to protect their interest. There were several such guilds in South India in the from the 8th. Students, the traders used to move from one place to another, and they used to travel from one kingdom to the another's. Students, so there were also the communities like the Kshatris and the Marwari Oswal who went to become the principal trading group of the country. Gujarati traders, including the community of Hindu Banyas, Muslim Boras traders extensively with the porters and the Red Sea, Persian Gulf, East Africa, Southeast Asia, and China. Since the India used to that time, the people used to travel to these places to do the business. They sold textiles, spices in these ports. In exchange, bought golds and ivory from the Africa, spices, tin, Chinese blue pottery, and silver, and southern Southeast Asia and China students. The towns on the west coast were the homes of the Arabs. The students, the town, the western coast part was the home for the Arabs, Persian, Chinese, Jewish, and Syrian Christian traders. Indian spices and clothes sold to the Red Sea port, and all the Indian spices were sold to the Red Sea port were purchased by the Italian traders and eventually reaches the European market. The Italian traders used to buy all the Indian spices through the Red Sea port, and they finally reached the European market, fetching a high profit. And the Europeans used to earn the higher profit. Spices growth in the tropical climate become an important part of the European cooking, and cotton clothes are very attractive. This has eventually drew European trade to India, and this is how the European trade enters in the India. We will shortly read about how the changes face from trading to the town. And this is how students the trading changed. The craft of the Berdas was so famed from the inklay work of copper and silver that it came to be known as the Bidari, the Panchalas. All these students, the this like these, the craftsmen were done by in the copper and silver was done by the people, the craftsmanship. Some aspects of cloth making like cotton, cleaning, spinning, and dyeing become a specialized and independent crafts of those time. Students, the spinning, dyeing, all these were done in the India in that particular time in the 17th century.